Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Recap, a Guy's Review. Happy Tuesday morning, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out my Women's Tell-All recap video. And let's continue talking about The Bachelor. As you see here from the title of this video, Rachel Lindsay, she makes headlines even when she's not trying to make headlines. She's literally like, I'm going away, and everyone's like, she's going away. And then I'm like, she says she's going away. Well, what we have here is Rachel Lindsay explains why she deactivated her Instagram, takes a break from Bachelor Happy Hour podcast. Now, if you've been living under a rock, then you're probably not even watching this video. What are you doing under there? But most of us understand what happened with her interview with Chris Harrison, and Chris Harrison was, has felt the wrath of Bachelor Nation, consequences for not exactly shifting his empathy and grace in the right direction. I agree to disagree at this point. I don't think people are changing their minds. So literally not one person is going to change their mind on the subject matter. But either way, Rachel Lindsay has taken a brunt of the hate. You know, she's been accused of breaking up other Bachelor contestants, relationships, and, look, she's a daughter of a judge. She's a lawyer. If she sees a flaw in the system, if she sees something that doesn't seem right, she's going to poke at it. That's what certain curious people do. So anyway, she decided to get off Instagram. And that always seems so cryptic when you see like user not found. It's like, well, she still exists. And my whole thought initially when she deactivated it was like, well, maybe she just needs a weekend. You know what I mean? She's about ready to host, a Golden Globes after party or whatever she's doing. Maybe she just needs a weekend to relax. A lot of people that don't seem to like Rachel Lindsay were saying, well, if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. Or if the kitchen's on fire, if there's a grease fire, go outside, for a cigarette break. Did anyone ever work in a restaurant before? Even the chefs can go outside for a cigarette break once in a while. No, you got to take that heat. So anyway, I think it's important. And guys, let me just jump clips over here before we even read this article. Look, this is for all of us. Put yourself first doesn't mean you don't care about others. It means you're smart enough to know you can't help others if you don't help yourself first. If you're ever feeling like you're about to burn out, you got to put the oxygen mask on you before you do it on your spoiled brat kid, okay? Because if you pass out, you can't help others. So she was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm disconnecting. And we need to really do more of this in life. We really do. I don't get nearly as riled up about negative comments on my channel because I don't read them as much anymore. It's almost a beauty as my channel has grown. I've gotten more negative comments because new people are finding it. If YouTube's going to recommend me to certain people, they're going to be like, not my cup of tea.
You cut the crap.
Oh, that wasn't loud enough.
You cut the crap.
You cut the crap. So the thought is like, look, what you think of me is none of my business. And I think that's something we all need to remember. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're someone like Taylor Nolan, and I've got a video coming up about her next, but if you're someone like Taylor Nolan, and that ain't about taking the heat in the kitchen, that's about an atomic bomb going off in your restaurant, okay? Like, there is a point of critical mass where you need to wonder, am I the asshole? AITA? Am I the asshole? And sometimes you need to wonder that. In someone like Rachel Lindsay's case, she is who she is, and that's unapologetically poking the bear, and even if it's the hand that feeds. It's amazing when you can see someone with the gumption, the balls, the ovaries, the binary sex organs, whatever you want to call it. There is something amazing with someone who doesn't give a flying fart what you think about them and isn't worried about, ruffling feathers. Let Rachel Lindsay ruffle some feathers. We need this in society, folks. So let's read what it says. Enough is enough. Rachel Lindsay is speaking out following her decision to deactivate her Instagram account on Friday, February 26th. I saw negative and I said, you know what? Not today. Now, she says, I saw something negative and I said, you know what? Not today. Not even this weekend. And currently still not now because I'm still disabled. It was the best decision that I could do for myself to detach from that negativity. Lindsay, 35, explained on the Tuesday, March 2nd episode of her Higher Learning podcast with Van Lathan. I needed that. I feel so much better. I'm not 100%, but I feel better. She went on to thank Lathan, 40, for speaking out about the backlash and coming to her defense on social media. Hours after she deactivated her account, she posted a video via Instagram revealing that she was being harassed by Bachelor and Chris Harrison fans. Leave Rachel the F alone. This harassment is going too far, he wrote at the time. This is Van. My co-host has zero today with the words of a grown-ass man who still doesn't get it. Wait, what? Chris Harrison, are you okay with people getting at Rachel to the point she can't even exist on Instagram? Is anyone from the entire Bachelor Nation going to stand up and condemn this harassment of a black woman? Yo, it's just a effing TV show. Y'all need to relax for real. And that was Van, her co-host, kind of defending her. He was the first one who mentioned, like, hey, you know, she had to delete her account for now, deactivate it, whatever you want to call it. And like, that shouldn't have to happen. But, you know, listen, this is the problem. You know, there's a lot of problems with social media. The idea that somebody as a consumer can just message her, like it used to be, you know, like that's why, like with death threats, social media death threats, like, yeah, some of them you should take seriously and all that. But a death threat in 2021 isn't the same as a death threat in 1982. A death threat in 1982, you needed to cut out clippings from a magazine. You needed to like call somebody's agent and find out what the mailing address was. You needed to lick a stamp. There's a lot of work went into a death threat in 1982. Now you just got some jabroni in his basement going, I don't like you. And it's just, look, I understand it's easier said than done to ignore the noise. I've gotten so riled up. The thing that I do, like subconsciously, when I get a negative comment, is the thing that I do is I imagine that negative comment is someone who's like a peer of mine, somebody that I respect. And in most cases, it ain't. In most cases, it's somebody who would never say things like that to your face. Why do I think that? Because I'm a stand-up comedian. I've literally traveled across the country, and I've only had a drink thrown at me once, okay? And it was probably called for. I was making fun of the bartender while I was on stage, and she threw a shot glass at me. You know what? It happens once in a while, okay? You ain't towing the line if you don't get a drink thrown at you once in a while. But the idea that these people, no one's saying this to people's face. Maybe once in a while. You know, a couple years ago, I had Leo Dottavio on my podcast. Did I pronounce your last name right, Leo? Leo, you guys know he was the villain on Bachelor in Paradise a couple years ago. And I said, Leo, of all the internet hate that you get, of all the hate, how many times has someone come up to you in person? And he said, once. One time after a show, someone came up to him. So the idea that these people exist in real life, I just reject that thought. And I understand for Rachel, it's like, look, you could disable your comments, you can do whatever, but it's also tempting to have the addiction in your pocket and want to check on it and want to defend yourself. So I totally understand wanting to step out of the kitchen. I totally understand that. If you can manage the addiction, sometimes it's nice to just delete the app from your phone, but we all have this problem. I think she's just got it on a grander scale. We've all got that problem. It's like looking at a car wreck over and over on your Facebook. You ever have that where like your friends like in a Facebook beef and you're not even commenting on it, you're just watching it all happen? Who are you to do that, Trisha? Who are you, Trisha, to watch someone else's Facebook fight? It's just this weird public sort of flagellation thing that we have going on, public shame. And sometimes I stand by it. Sometimes shame is important. Shame is a tool that is being used on Nolan girl, Taylor Nolan, forgot her name, deleted it. Shame is a tool that can be used to better people and realize you done messed up. But it's also way overly used in situations where you would have no access to somebody. You know, we're supposed to live on a cul-de-sac with 100 people that we know. I just moved into this new house yesterday. I already forgot the zip code to the place I just moved from. Like, I don't have enough space in my brain to know basic commands, let alone which one of my trolls is mad at me today. So the idea that she deactivated her Instagram, totally support it. Now, this is a rant more for me, guys, than for anything, but I hope you guys can understand. And usually when you're talking to people, 99.9% of the audience, if I get about 80,000 views a day on my channel right now, which thank you so much for that, because about a year ago I was getting about 4 views, and it was from all my ex-girlfriends, leaving negative comments. Yelp me, 1 star. Minuteman, just kidding, I think. All right, moving on. I digress. So the idea that 80,000 people watch a video and you might get a handful of people that leave comments in bad faith. Look, it's not the majority of society. And what do they say? There's always like out of every 100 people, there's a couple psychopaths in the mix, a couple sociopaths. Looking at you, Taylor. Who knows? But the idea that these people exist is like they exist. We just give them more weight than we've ever given them in the past. They exist on Twitter because they can band together. They exist in different clans and different, QAnons and different, dark web groups. They exist, but the majority of people are good. The majority of people are good. Deactivate your account, go on a little vacation, and we'll all survive this. Everyone who's been who's been an issue has issued an apology, except for the franchise. So the franchise hadn't issued an apology to Rachel Lindsay about like, look, it's all of our goons that are coming after Rachel, all of our, the trolls that follow Bachelor Nation. I wouldn't even call them trolls for Rachel Lindsay's case. It was literally, it kind of became a political thing. Like if you were against cancel culture, you thought Rachel Lindsay caused this mess. Like Rachel Lindsay invented cancel culture. Everyone who's been an issue has issued an apology, except for the franchise, except for the network, except for the production company. You need to hear something from them. It's almost like, how do you say you have a racist problem or a racist issue without saying you have a racist issue? You bring in Emmanuel Acho to host a finale, the Texas native said during the Higher Learning episode. They need to come out and say something. They need to grab a hold of this and control the situation, because right now you're letting your fans speak for you. This is an audience that you have curated for 15 years until you have the first lead of color, me. You have built this. These people feel that they had their world, and now people of color are trying to mess it up. You did this, so you need to speak out. You need to say something. You need to undo it. Very interesting stuff, folks. As I like to say, very interesting stuff. So the question is, what are the producers going to do about it? Emmanuel Acho is going to host the after the final rose ceremony, but what's going to happen? How are we going to educate people to realize, look, it ain't all about Rachel Lindsay being a bad apple. Clearly, there's an abrasive issue here because things aren't being addressed. It's like in a family when like someone's off and it throws off the whole family. Something's off within the franchise and it's been off for a while, and Rachel's just the first person poking the bear, because a lot of the contestants that have smaller followings, a lot of the contestants that want to make it on Bachelor in Paradise, they don't have the luxury of speaking out. Rachel Lindsay is too big to fail. She can call it out and she's not going to get fired, because that would be literally the biggest lawsuit in the world if Rachel Lindsay got fired because she called out Bachelor for not having enough diversity. There's an issue at hand. The discussion's important, and Rachel Lindsay deserves every ounce of vacation time she decides she needs. All right. So anyway, if you guys want to check out my videos from earlier today, I got the Bachelor Recap, Women's Tell All. Go give that a click. Go show that video some support. I love to get some traffic over there, because that's the fastball right there. That's where it all began, is the recap videos. I do them late at night, so my mind's going crazy. I say things I shouldn't, and I hope you guys enjoy. Anyway, folks, more to come. Taylor Nolan's new apology up next. Bye, guys.